Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Retired and Living the Dream. Started a little bit early today, so just to get all my bits and pieces working, make sure everything's switched on, make sure my voice is working. And there we go. Okay. I'm just waiting for people to come on now. I'm like 10 minutes early, so we've got one person on now. There goes my voice work. Yeah, there we go. Everything's working. Everything's hunky-dory. So I'll just wait for everything's been set up. I like to set up early and then I make sure everything's working, because sometimes you know what it's like when you set everything up, sometimes it doesn't work. Oh wow, that's gone up from 1 to 10. People must be just sat there. Have you been getting up early on a Sunday? Because the clocks have gone back. Or was it gone back or gone forward? Something like that. So it's a little bit earlier now. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, 10 to 4 here in the afternoon, and it's about 10 to 9 in the UK. So it'll get dark a bit early. Usually these last for about 3 hours. So let's see how it goes today. If there's people asking questions, then I'll be sat here talking to people all the time. So I've got my coffee, Retired and Living the Dream mug, and I've got some water and some soda water, because obviously all this talking, it makes my voice go a little bit croaky sometimes. Thai time afternoon, Les. Thank you very much. Simwin, good morning, Les. Good morning. Good afternoon from Newcastle. Mickey on the Rock, Retired on the Beach. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, Les. Video of the Caravan was quite good. Thank you very much for that. Afternoon, Les. Jackson in Thailand. Good morning, Les. Popping while standing, and 4 a.m. my time, but try not to miss your live stream. Oh, wow, 4 o'clock. It must be in America somewhere, is it? Or Canada, something like that. So thanks very much for joining us for the live stream. Wow, that's dedication for you. I much appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Oh, so again, 10 minutes early. I've got loads of things to talk about today. It should be quite an eventful live stream. But again, this is your opportunity. I've got things to say. I've always got something to say, is why it goes on for sometimes nearly 4 hours is the longest one. I've got my light set up. I've moved the car out, so when my wife comes back, she doesn't have to ask me to move the car. The lights are set up because it'll get dark a little bit earlier here, 6 o'clock this evening. So fingers crossed, everything's set up. I've got my fan, I've got my water. All I need now is the questions that people want to ask. And no matter what you want to ask, I can answer, I would say 90% of the questions that people can ask. And if I can't answer them, then I'll just direct you towards the people that can. So this is your chance to ask wherever you want to do. So if you want to ask a question, put a Q, capital Q at the beginning of it, so I can see the comments scrolling by, so then I can see it's a question, and then I'll answer the question. And I do apologize if the comments are scrolling up and I miss your question. It's not that I don't want to answer, it's probably that I've missed it, because I usually try to give a really good answer to any of the questions that people give me, and it may coincide with your question just going off screen. So I do apologize for that. So again, just ask the question. Any questions that come up, I'll answer, no problem whatsoever, no matter how difficult they are. Not like two-tier stammer who ignores all the questions. You ask me any questions you want, any difficult questions. Not that I don't think I'll get any difficult questions, but if they're there, I can answer them, that's for sure. No problem. So today it's a little bit cooler because the rainy season coming to an end now. It's a little bit overcast today, but I've still got the fan next to me and it's perfect. Absolutely brilliant, the weather over here. It's fan-dabby-dozy. Love it. So, okie dokie. So 3:52, 10 minutes to go. So what's everybody else been up to? You know, the UK, I've watched that since the budget. Wow. that's entertaining in itself. Just the videos that are coming in after that. Does everybody feel depressed and what on earth is going on? What's going to happen to everybody in the future? I mean, austerity, it's just carrying on, isn't it? It's just getting worse. The UK is the highest tax now than ever been since the Second World War. And what do we get extra for it? All of them extra taxes, and you get nothing else for it whatsoever. I won't go too political today, but as I said, it's obviously going to get mentioned because there's people. It's a big issue, and I hope that this issue that's come across because of the cost of living crisis and everything else that's going on, it makes people think, well, hang on a minute, there's got to be a better lifestyle or better life if I go looking for it. And that's what I did, but I did it 15 years or so ago now, almost 15 years ago. And that changed my life, and I love it here. I've been busy meeting other subscribers. I've been entertaining people who've just come over here looking for a place to live because they're disillusioned with the UK. So I've been showing people around. I've been looking at motorhomes, camper vans, been to Bangkok. The wife's done some shopping. Oh, the list goes on. Been doing me solar, been doing the garden. I don't know how people manage to fit all this lot in and work. But I enjoy every minute of it. I'm always busy. I've always got something going on. And it's just brilliant. My life just goes by like that. In fact, sometimes it goes by too quickly. And you think, I've been home now for about 5 or 6 weeks. And you think, where's them 5 or 6 weeks gone? It's just gone by so quickly. Okie dokie. Hi from Australia, mate. Bernie, welcome from Australia. Multiple entry visa for marriage and child in Thailand. You only get 90 days now, not multiple entry from the embassy in London. That's bad. Oh, I don't know about that. Never heard about that one. No, 90 days. Or multiple entry visa for marriage. And yeah, that's where I got. I got a 90-day O visa based on marriage. And I'll come on to that because I've got to go back to the immigration for marriage visa. But we'll go on about that a little bit later on when after 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, should say, so that the people are in. But the marriage visa, 90 days, it's always been 90 days. So that hasn't really changed at all. Rip off Britain, oh, I think I can think worse words than rip off Britain. Quick question. When you left the UK, did you feel it was a one-way trip? And so how did it impact you? Yes, it was a one-way trip. I've got to say, I knew I was going to retire at 50. So I travel the world for 1 year. Then I travel around Europe for the second year. And I always knew I was never, ever going to go back to live in England. The world is a big place. It's exciting. And it offers you many, many opportunities. And I, sadly, through divorce of my Chinese wife at the time, we traveled the world for like the 2 years. And then she said, oh, listen, Les, she said, I'm sick of traveling around. I'm sick of living out with a suitcase. She said, I want to go back to Redcar and I want to live in the same apartment and I want to work in the same coffee shop that I worked at. And I said, well, I don't. So sadly, we parted company, but I knew I would never, ever go back to the UK. But that's what she wanted to do. So again, I've got no qualms in that. If it wasn't the thing that she wanted to do, we could have lived anywhere in the world. But she chose to live back in Redcar. I've got no qualms with that. So we split up around about Boxing Day. We split up on the Boxing Day and I was in Thailand on New Year's Eve. That's how quick everything got sorted out. So yes, I sort of knew it was a one-way thing, but that was when I got me big divorce when I was 42. And I had 8 years left to go before I retired from the fire brigade. So in essence, I was planning from the age of 42 to leave the country. But where I was going to go and live, I didn't know. I had a plot of land in France. I was going to build a house in France. And then the credit crunch happened in 2008, 2 years before I retired. So that put another 45,000 euros on the cost of building the house. Now, I was always going to struggle to build the house on the money that I had, but add another 45,000 euros, that sort of made it impossible. So the idea was that me and the Chinese wife or girlfriend that he had at the time turned into my wife. We said we'd go around, travel for 2 years, let things calm down. Both of us work together, put the money back in the bank account, and then build the house, hopefully. But that didn't turn out, you know. Have I got any regrets? Not at all, because if I'd have built a house, I wouldn't have seen what I've seen around the world. And that for me is more beneficial to me than having a house in the middle of France somewhere. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You know, you cut your cloth to suit. Many things happen to us in our lives: illness, tragedies, divorces, breakups, business failures, all sorts of things. I just get on with it and just move on. You know, nothing really bothers me as far as I've been in the deepest, darkest hole, and I've been there, and I've been sad, and I've been lonely. But when all's said and done, there's only you that can fix all of that. And there's a solution to every single problem. And I'm good at getting solutions to solve problems. And that's what I love doing. And I've helped many, many people do that. I might offer alternative ways. Some people have tunnel vision and they can't see a way out of it. I offer, I bend the rules, if you like, sometimes. I always have workarounds, as I have with the visas in Thailand and things like that. There are many, many ways to skin a cat. So, yeah, that was quite a long-winded answer, wasn't it, to your question? So, yes, it was a one-way trip, and the impact on me is I feel much better in myself. Look where I live. I could never, ever, ever, ever afford to live this standard of lifestyle in the UK. So by I haven't burned my bridges. I could always go back to the UK and I'd live in a van. I like the van life. I like the van life people. I met some fantastic van lifers. And if I ever had to go back to England for any reason whatsoever, that's where I do. I'd live in a van. My rent has gone up 40% in 2 years and just can't see working for another 5 years to afford retirement. I'm 55. Yeah, sorry. I mean, have you got something that you can sell with regard to your property and something like that? Because, again, I tell people, realistically, you can live in Thailand for £1,000 a month. If you can scrape together £1,000 a month or so, then you can live quite a okay life. It's not the best life. We live on about £1,400 a month here, and that £400 difference does make. I'm coughing early today, and that £400 does make a difference. In 2 years' time, I get my state pension, which will make a huge difference to me, and that for me is my travel money. In 2 years' time, when I get that, that's going to be my travel money, and we're going to go all over the country on my state pension. Thailand is 4 weeks away. Gets the thumbs up. Thanks very much. Okay, 4 weeks, it'll go by like that. Question is, do you know how long before a 60-day visa on arrival expires, you can get 30-day visa extension? You can do it on the last day. I'd personally go, you can actually do it anytime, to be fair, on 60-day extension. A 60-day, hang on. 60-day visa on arrival expires. You can do it on the last day, or you can do it on day 30 or something like that, and they will give you your 30 days extension, no problems whatsoever. So that gives you 90 days. And then you can leave the country, go to Cambodia for the day, come back and get another 60 days. You can do that twice in the year from when you first came in here. So 9, 18, 27, that's almost a year you could live in Thailand just on that visa alone. So it's a good visa to have. It's brilliant. It's simple. And there's no 90-day reporting and things like that. So to get your taste of Thailand, you get a 90 days. Well, it's a 60-day, then you extend it for 90 days. It's a 60 days, then you extend it for 30 days, giving you a total of 90 days. And that extension costs you 1,900 baht. Cheapest chips, 25 quid. If they raise the tax allowance, the government foots the bill. That's why They hit national insurance employees. It's done. I'm glad to be out of the, yeah, again, the heaviest tax. Why has it come to this? You know, the government, the MPs are there to serve the working people or the people of the UK. They just do whatever they want to do and say, oh, we're doing it for the best reasons. We're doing it for the best reasons. Absolutely BS. They're doing it for their reasons, to line their own pockets. An MP can't lie straight in bed, I'm sure. Les, I got the Thai elite visa, been visiting Thailand since the 80s, retired a couple of years ago, leaving Thailand on the 20th of this month. UK is nasty now. Europe is too expensive. Yeah, well, the elite visa now, there's a lot of people, there's ways and means around the elite visa and that you don't lose your money and things like that. So, but the elite visa, the Ruskies have been using and abusing the elite visa. So there's going to be sanctions or there's going to be restrictions. There's going to be some sort of thing going on with the elite visa because the Ruskies have sort of found little loopholes in it and are exploiting it. So it's like everything else. If it gets exploited too much, then the Thai government will do something about it. But yeah, 20 years. So where do you think you're going to be living now then if England's too expensive and you're going out? Hey up, Les, how's it going? I heard there's a lot of trouble going on in southern Thailand, some kind of uprising. Yeah, it's sort of the Muslim in southern Thailand. There's always been a bit of a argy-bargy right on the border with Malaysia. It never bothers sort of the rest of the Thailand. There's a bit of infighting that goes on there. It doesn't bother anybody really. But yeah, that's just their separate little battle, if you like. But is it going to spread all over Thailand? I doubt it very much. It's sort of, everybody sort of knows about it, but just turns a blind eye and just like, let's get on with it. I suppose it's a little bit like Ireland when all the troubles were happening in Ireland. It didn't really affect everybody else in the UK. And so, yeah, there's been a few fighting and, you know, shootings and things like that. But that's not in any of the tourist areas whatsoever. Freezing the tax allowances creates the stealth tax of fiscal drag. Yeah, I mean, all the things that the Labour government have overturned from the Tory government, and this fiscal drag is never been touched. And they've just turned around and said, oh, well, we don't have any plans to extend it after 2028. You know, but that's still another 3 years, 3.5 years that nobody's going to get any more tax allowances. Isn't that just crazy? That's just another stealth tax. All the things that they've overturned with the government, but no, they didn't turn this one down, did they? Didn't overturn this one. This was a good tax compared to, you know, what the Tories did and what the Labour want. At least they're not getting any backlash over that. But in reality, it is fiscal drag because when everybody gets the state pension next year, that might just take them over the limit for paying tax. And certainly the year after, they'll be paying tax on pensions. And that's disgraceful, isn't it? Paying tax on your pensions. Poland is the best country in Europe. They look after their citizens and don't allow illegal immigrants. Yeah. But I mean, saying that, there was a lot of Polish people working in the UK, wasn't there? Because they got a better pay and things like that. It's not like Muslims to cause trouble. No, never let it be said. Never let it be said that they cause problems all around the world. Well, that's my coffee gone. On to me water now. So, okay, well, we've just gone 4 o'clock. So welcome to those people that are tuned in for the 4 o'clock edition. I've been on since about 10 to 4. Thanks very much for joining us. There's 79 people in now, 21 thumbs up. Can we get a few more? Oh, 84. Wow, that's just jumped up. Any more thumbs up? This all helps the YouTube algorithm and it pushes things around. So thumbs up is the name of the game. And thank you very much for all those people who've just joined. And my subscribers have gone up as well over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So thanks very much for all the new subscribers and the new people who are asking the questions. I answer as many questions as I can. It probably takes me an hour every morning to answer the emails and the questions. I try to answer every single one of them, but I'm sure at one stage that'll get impossible. But thank you very much for your questions. And anybody's got any questions, please feel free to ask them on here, and I'll answer them as well as I can. Hello there, Bill. Thanks very much for your comment this morning. Hello, Les. Great to see you again, mate. Always good to see you, Billy. Billy Bob and Billy Simpson, right next door to each other. Hi, Les. I was successful in my application for my 12-month retirement visa. I did not use an agent. Well done. Cost 1,900 baht for the visa and 3,800 for the multi-entry version. Yippee. Well done. Hello, Les. Question: is it worth spending time and money getting a yellow house book and pink ID card? Do you have them? Cheers. You get the yellow house book if you're, joint owners of the house, and then you can get your pink ID card. But in reality, your pink ID card, you don't pay 200 baht if you're going into a Thai government park or national park or the islands or something like that. So yes, it's a little bit of a benefit. You don't have to get if you buy a motorbike or sell a motorbike or buy or sell a car, or if you are, where else is it? Where you need a certificate of residence. So you don't have to spend 500 baht to get a certificate of residence anymore from the immigration. So yes, it has got some value, not an awful lot, but it's better to have it than not. I don't think I think you still have to do your 90 days reporting though, even though you've got that. Kiwi fan, good stuff, Les. Thanks very much. Retiring to Thailand on the 1st of December. Wow, that'll be here very, very soon. Fortunately, I'm dual citizen with British and Irish passports, so we'll stay a tourist all year round, 179 days in each passport. Oh, well done. You might as well use the dual citizenship. Well done for that. Tax residency, and I'm not going to touch the toxic tax system. It's still up in the air. Here we are in November, and nobody is still any the wiser. So for all of these YouTubers that put it on there, I know what's going to happen with the tax. This is what's good. And in reality, even the top tax experts still don't know yet. So that's my answer to the top tax expert. I haven't even got a tax ID number, because I don't think it'll even come into force. But that's me. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Let's see how it goes. I'm not worried about it. There are plenty of loopholes that are already appearing anyway. So I can sleep every night knowing that I ain't going to get hammered with tax whilst living over here. With a triple lock very soon, if you're only receiving the state pension, then it will be taxed once the increase is over. Yeah, exactly. And that'll be after next year, because they've still got the fiscal drag at £12,570. That goes on until 2028. So, yeah, pensioners will be paying tax at one stage. Morning, Les. What's the best way to get from Bangkok to Rayong if first time in Thailand? Taxi is probably the best way, but you can actually get a bus all the way from Bangkok to Rayong. But then that goes to Rayong City, and that's sort of 40 minutes or so away from where I live. You can catch a mini bus to Ban Phe, and that's at the Mochit bus station. And that's probably the easiest way to get to Rayong. Okay, dokie. We've got some silly people in now, so let's just say goodbye to silliness. Please have a little bit of respect on here. You know, if you don't want to take part, just go away. See you later. You are deleted, Stuart Dudray. Silliness, you know, if you've got nothing good to say, just keep your mouth shut, you know, crazy people. But anyway, I don't get trolled very, very often, but as I say, I have the power to delete, and I will delete. I don't have any monetizers and stuff like that because I don't feel the need that I need a monetizer, and then it's just taking somebody's time from somebody else's day when I can press the button. Okay, new outlets reopening, the government as a working party looking at the retirement visas. Maybe changes are coming. We will have to wait and see. Yeah, that's exactly Isan, man. Things change on a daily basis here in Thailand, as they do everywhere else in the world as well. Thank the Labour government for keeping us all poor. Well, the Conservatives did a good thing of that as well, didn't they? And the Labour's just taken it over, but they're just like turning another screw. It's crazy, isn't it? But I still pay my taxes. I get my pension, and I pay tax on that. And because 2 years' time, when I get my state pension out, I'm still over the 12,570, so I'll pay tax on that as well. But that's what happened. I don't mind paying the tax, but what I do object to paying the tax to, when they blatantly waste millions and millions and millions of pounds, and they know they're wasting the millions of pounds on stupid projects that are never ever going to work, stupid things. And I forget what, there's some guy that they've employed for 1 day a week, and he gets £50,000 a year. I forget what he does. It was just one of them silly things. £50,000 a year for working 1 day a week. I'll stick my hand up for that job. I'd come back to England to do that. I'd only have to work a year. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? £50,000 a year for working 1 day a week. Now let's just, jobs for the boys. That's a jobs for the boys job, that is, anyway, isn't it? I assume you've been to the Philippines. Why did you decide Thailand? No, I haven't been to the Philippines. I've talked to many people who live in the Philippines, and in fact, there's a guy that's moved over here, or he's come to Thailand to have a look at it. He's lived in the Philippines, and he's very early thoughts of Thailand compared to the Philippines. Thailand is much, much, much more advanced than the Philippines, and he's only been here for less than a week. But he's enjoying it here also, and he's going to go and see many, many things. But Thailand, the Philippines, I've looked at the Philippines, but I've never really fancied it. I don't fancy the armed guards standing outside of 7-Eleven. There's something a little bit fishy with that, isn't there? But it is what it is. Some people like the Philippines more than the Thailand, but for me, 1 day I will get to the Philippines. I'll go and have a look, and I'll go and have a see what it's all about. But there are good things and bad things about Thailand, and there are good things and bad things also about the Philippines. But personally, my feet are under the table here in Thailand, and I have no plans on moving them to the Philippines or anywhere else. I stick to the rules. I do what people say. My life is easy over here because I obey the rules, and they're not too difficult to go by. The visa is so simple to get over here. The qualifications to get the visa is so simple. The workarounds are so simple, and anything can be sorted out over here with brown envelopes. Brown envelopes are just as good over here as they are anywhere else in the world. And the thing is, it's accepted over here, unlike some other places, like the UK or America. Brown envelopes oil the wheels of progression. Hello from Cornwall. Hello, Cornwall. Thanks very much for joining. Put the kettle on, have a cup of coffee, and come and join there's 96 people in the room now, so 95, or one's just going to put the kettle on, maybe. Thanks very much for joining us from Cornwall. I guess there's a no to birthday shout out then. Whose birthday is it? I'll give you a shout out. You let me know whose birthday it is, and I'll wish you a happy birthday. No problem whatsoever. Everybody, it comes around once a year. Everybody has a birthday. It's when you get older, then birthdays seem to be every 6 months, not every year, because time flies so quickly. Here I am now, 64. I've been retired 14 years, and I've loved every minute of it. But boy, has it gone quick. Highlights: trolls are like the old drunks yelling on the streets in the 70s. Yeah, just walk. Yeah, keyboard warrior. It's easy to be a keyboard warrior, isn't it? He must be bored if he has to come and look at my live stream and just say, Les, you're a whatever. You know, he's got nothing else better to do on a Sunday afternoon. But hey ho, that's his life. He's probably an old, sad, lonely person who's maybe jealous, a bit of envy and something like that. I don't mind, because I have the power just to delete them, and that's what I do. I delete them. There's no need to be rude and crude. You know, if you've got some thoughts, just think to yourself, because when all's said and done, there's people who'll whinge about anything. You could be the nicest person in the world, and there'll be somebody who hates you because you're a nice person. Well, that's just the way it goes. But thanks very much for saying that. I appreciate your comments. Philippines, Cambodia are pretty stable with regard to visas. Thailand is like standing or shifting sand, looking through a mud-stained window and moving goalposts. Yeah, but maybe it's one day that'll all settle down and they'll do it. I personally think at the minute, Thailand is in phase of shooting themselves in the foot, and shooting themselves in the foot for all the wrong reasons. And it's easy to remedy, really, isn't it? It's not difficult. And this tax rule, for instance, it was already in existence, and they'd cast their nets out to catch the wealthy Thai people who were avoiding tax, as our government does in the UK, try this tax avoidance with the non-doms and things like that. But it also has wide-ranging effects as well. So like us retirees, we've been caught in the net, and they're just trying to filter it out on how they can deal with it. So, yeah, it's been almost a year now since it's been in position, and nobody still knows what it's all about. So let's just wait, see how it goes. Highlights: I presume you think rural countryside's not for you, where ploy comes from. Just thinking it's so isolated. Yeah, it is. But we've had this discussion, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it, because it's important. Because I know some people who live in rural locations, and I know some people who are the only phalang in the village. And we looked at everything, and some people who come and move here because their Thai girlfriends or Thai wives have got a house already built or constructed or in the village, and they think, oh, well, that's rent free. I don't have to pay rent anymore, and I can go and live in the village. But you can become very socially isolated by that. But there is alternatives to doing that, and I'll explain what I'm on about. Because my wife, she's got a lovely house, beautiful house in the village, and there's no mortgage on it, so I could live there rent free. It's right in the countryside, some beautiful, stunning scenery, but there is no foreigners in the village. So I would be lonely there. I would have nobody to talk to. And talking to people on the internet is totally different to talking to people like, one-to-one. So my ruling was that with my wife, I said, if I move up here, then every 4 or 5 weeks, we would have to go away for 1 or 2 weeks. So I get that social contact with the other foreigners that I can talk to. But also on the flip side of it, my wife was explaining to me, because if we moved up to her house, she's in the village. Her parents work on the farm because they have their own farmland as well. So a ploy would be expected to work from 5 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock on the evening every single day. So I would be left on my own on the veranda of the house on my own, because she would be expected to work. And that's just a Thai thing. She'd be called lazy. She'd be like shameful to the family because she'd be laying in bed all the time. Whereas where we live here, she gets up whenever she wants. She doesn't have to work in the fields. She doesn't have to do it. So we took the decision to buy this house where we are, so we didn't have that alternative. So we didn't have to do that. But I can understand some people who think moving in the countryside, rural life is brilliant. this is sort of semi-rural where I live, and I brought various subscribers or people that come in to Thailand to have a look, and they think where I am is rural and it's like out of it. I'm 15 minutes away from the local shops. I'm only 5 minutes away from a beautiful beach, 30 minutes away from Koh Samet. So I don't think that is too far, because when I lived in the UK, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to move up into the countryside, which was like 45 minutes away from Redcar Beach. And that's where I was looking forward to. So I've sort of got the best of both worlds here. We go up to Ploy's farm, and it's a totally 100% different to how it is here. But I'm lucky because we've got 2 houses and we can do that. But we both prefer this lifestyle where she has the choice of what she wants to do. So that is sort of in a nutshell is, yes, I couldn't live in a rural location because it would do my head in. And I've talked to many people, and they feel the same. There's very few people who can actually stick with living in rural lifestyle. I know a few people who love it and wouldn't have any difference, but for me, I couldn't do that. Okay, let's birthday shout out for Julie. It's her 42nd birthday today. Happy birthday, Julie. 42. 42, that was a big change in my life at the age of 42. So well done for getting to 42. Have a fantastic day, and may you have many, many more birthdays in your future. So have a drink on me, and happy birthday, Julie. Hi, Les, enjoyed your camper. Yeah, that was a fantastic video to do. I love that video. Again, I was talking to a few van lifers when I was back in the UK, and I like them people. I really, really, really like them people. In fact, I almost became a van life person myself. I was a little bit disillusioned with Thailand, and I was going to go back to England, and I was going to get a van with a mattress and a porta potty and just travel around the UK and Europe. And that's all I wanted, was a van with a mattress and a porta potty, and I would have been happy little chabby just driving around. So that's always ticked my boxes, if you like. I love living in my caravan. I could have been a gypsy. I could have ended up living full time in a caravan. I love the caravan life. I love the van life. The people that do that type of thing, the salt of the earth people, really, really nice people. And I met a few nice guys in Redcar that were van lifers. Talked to them. They're a different breed of people. They are the salt of the earth people, really, really nice people. And I didn't know that there was sort of a van life culture over here in Thailand as well, because hotel rooms over here are so cheap, to like 500 baht a night. You can have an okay room with air conditioning and a bed and things like that in quite a nice location. But my friend Mick, who wanted to have a look at the vans, because he tried that. I did a video as well about him putting his tent up. The actual the time-lapse video actually looks as if he knew what he was doing, but it took 25 minutes to put that tent on the back of the truck, and that's not good. So he was going to have a look at the vans and things like that, and I don't think he's totally committed to looking at the vans. He didn't have a great big list of questions, and I did the video because I was interested in it. And so for those people who want to have a look at the camping, have a look on the YouTube today, because I've listed it today, and it's doing quite well. On the last look at it, it's had over 500 views. So it's interesting. You can get a lot for not a lot over here in Thailand. The vans aren't as big as what they are in the UK, but let's face it, we have the better weather over here, so you can sit outside a lot more than you can do in the UK. And van life, if I had the money, I'd buy a van tomorrow, and I'd do that just to travel around and just park it up and just sit. It's always appealed to me, and I'd always love it. But I couldn't live in a van full time over here in Thailand. But the attraction of it is very, very good. So watch the video, and you'll see. But the first place that we went to was all Thai, and I haven't got, because it's a Thai name for the caravan. But anybody who wants their number, we can gladly pass their number on, but you need to be fluent in Thai to be able to speak to them. But the second guy is run by an English guy, Paul Siam Campers, Siam Camper Vans, and he's very good. Every vehicle that they do is bespokely built to the specifications of the person who's getting it built. So that there are sort of not two the same. And also there's a 3-month waiting list to get on the list. And then it's about 4 months before it's built and finished. They source the vans for you. They're about 11 to 15-year-old vans, but they do give a 3-month warranty on the engine. Fantastic. Loved it. Absolutely spot on. Perfect. Quality control was next to nothing compared to like the DIY projects that you see in England. This was all laser cut, precise, materials. Everything was made in house. Even the leather effects on the chairs, and it was brilliant. It was really, really good to see. So yes, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed making that video. And then my wife also, she enjoyed the shopping day in Bangkok where she was just left her own devices. I'm still waiting to get the repair quote to get me drone fixed. So whilst we're in Bangkok, we did a lot of things. But Bangkok is a lovely, lovely place. Let's have a look. Good afternoon, Les. Good afternoon. D in Isan. Hello, Isan. Vietnam Viking. Les, I'm looking at doing 3 months in Hua Hin, then back to the house in Australia. I'm 57, semi-retired, and working for 3 months and 3 months off in Asia. My interest gives me 1,000 Australian dollars a week. Wow, that's good. You'll have a fantastic lifestyle on that. We're going to Hua Hin, fingers crossed, next weekend. We're doing another video on assisted living. There's a new guy that's just got in touch with me. He's opening up some assisted living properties. That I won't say much more than that because that should be an exciting thing because it's a new venture as well as Sunshine International. So now that's sort of taking off. There's a lot of interest in that. So I'm going to travel almost 6 hours to Hua Hin to go and have a look at this new project that's coming on for assisted living. I think that is going to be booming time for people from all over the world to come to Thailand and live their golden years with good care and good attention. And so that's another good video that I'm sort of can't wait to go and do because it sort of interests me as well. We're all going to get old. I've already done a video on the assisted living and things like that. I've done a few videos on assisted living. I've got so many videos that are sort of backed up and I need to do it and I need to do it. But I haven't got enough hours in the day to do it. And I'm going to do another video about my thoughts of assisted living on here and what I would, because we're going to have this house. I love this house. I don't want to move this from this house. So how could I get somebody to live here and take care of me? Because I don't want to be a burden on anybody, let alone my wife. So I've got irons in the fire where I can afford to pay for 24-hour care, so my wife doesn't have to do that. I don't think that she should have to do it when there's alternatives to do it. She's going to be there as my wife and supportive and things like that, but I can afford to pay somebody to take the lion's share of taking care of me if I get dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. That's sort of worst case scenario. But I'm a half class full type of person. So hopefully I'll die of old age at 90 or 100 and I'll just die of old age with nothing else. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I also have different plans to do it. And I'm going to do a video and share that. And I'm going to give you the costs, how much it costs to do this, to make plans for if that does happen in the future. And you'd be surprised. It's not expensive to do. 30,000 baht, which is about £700 a month. So that's in reality my state pension money. That would pay for somebody to look after me 24 hours a day. So my state pension will come in handy for something. Hopefully I'll get loads of years of traveling with it, but eventually it will kick in to take care of me by having an assisted living nurse or an auxiliary that can do all the things that I don't want my wife to do. So that's just a brief synopsis of what's going to happen with future videos. Good afternoon, Les from Udentani. Hello, Zealand 21 again. Oh, 21. There were the days. Julie says, thank you for the birthday wishes. Okay, no problem. Happy birthday again, Julie. Good explanation about rural living, a big decision where to live, but equally a big decision taking the leap. I agree with 100%. We appreciate you taking time to help us make the leap. Only there was a brave pill. Yeah, you don't need a brave pill. You can come and try, and if you don't like, then you don't do it. But if you don't try, you'll never know, will you? You know, but if you do try, then at least you're going to give it a try. There's always going back, isn't there? That's always an option. If you make it so you can have the option that you can always go back. And that's what I say to anybody. It's like the guy that's come here to check out if he likes it here. He knows what the Philippines is like, but he didn't know what Thailand is like. So he took the leap, and he's going to go around Thailand for a while, and he's going to get the impression of where he wants to live. And hopefully he'll choose Thailand, because there's plenty of places, and he's seen a lot already. You know, we've had many heart-to-heart talks over cups of coffee and sat on the beaches and different places. And I've enjoyed spending time with him, because he's another newbie coming into this country, and I'm just full of information. And I wish I could have a big audience, and I can do this with all the audience and just do it as or a one-to-one basis, which I have done as well in the past. One-to-one talks, I think, with their WhatsApp and things like that, so you can ask whatever questions you want. And I sing Thailand's praises, because I think it's such a wonderful life. I feel happier, I look healthier, I feel healthier. The sun now, here we are in November, I'd be sat freezing cold with me thermal jacket on in England, wouldn't I? And it gets dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not much fun for the next 6 months, is it? It's a good job they have Christmas, and that makes everybody feel happier. Could you imagine if you didn't have Christmas, you'd have 6 months of misery, 6 months of feeling the cold. Anyway, that's just my thing. Blah, blah. Who but some third world countries offer retirement visas to those with a modest income? Thailand is a second world country now and developing fast. If a change, hopefully those of them would get grandfathered. Yeah, again, I mean, the rules, they are going to change one day. I mean, I've been here for 14 years, and it's always been 800,000 baht in the bank, or 65,000 baht a month. They're talking about making it 1.2 million. And if they do that, then the agents will just charge a little bit more money. So if they made it 2 million, there will always be a way of getting around the system here in Thailand. It might cost you a little bit more money, but when all's said and done, I think it's been 800,000 for 20 years. So, you know, even Thailand's allowed to change their rules, isn't it? And hopefully, if they do change the rules and make it beneficial for those people who want to live here, it's like me as an expat retiree. They should make, in my mind, it should make it a little bit more easier for me. I've been here for 12 years. So I've been here for 12 years. So there should be a little bit of trust with the Thai government and like me, because I've been here for that long. It's just like, okay, we'll give them a break. We'll give them something a little bit extra. But if they don't, it's not too difficult for me to do. I'm going to talk about my marriage visa in a second, because that's just prompted me now to talk about making life simpler. But the marriage visa is very, very complicated. I'll come on that in a minute. Good afternoon, Les. Mike, North Wales. Good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining us. What time does it get dark there, Les? At this time of the year, by 6 o'clock, it's dark here. But because we're very close to the timeline type of thing, the equator, it gets dark the earliest it gets dark is about 6 o'clock, and the latest in the summer months, it's 7 o'clock. So there's only that hour difference, but you just get used to it. 6 o'clock on an evening time now, I can still sit outside here. I might be bitten by the mosquitoes, but come 7 o'clock, an hour after dusk, the mosquitoes and the bugs sort of disappear. So dusk and dawn is when you get affected by the bugs. But it is strange. I like the 10 o'clock night when I was back in the UK. But I also hate the mornings where it doesn't get light until 8:30 in the morning and it's dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Them nights really, really, really drag. So I'll take the rough with the smooth with Thailand. 6 o'clock, it gets dark in the morning. Gets dark in the evening. 6 o'clock, it gets light in the morning. I'm always up about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I sit on that sofa there, having me cup of coffee because the sun comes up over there. And there's me hammock there. So we live outside the house most of the times because it's warm. I've got a fan on here now. Here we are in November. It's about 28 today. So it's just about perfect, really, isn't it? I can't complain about that. Hohin government has a foreign customer office. Look up foreign office, Wahin hospital. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's another thing that I think they could do a lot more with the healthcare system here. They should have up some fund that for people who really can't afford the private health cover can join the public healthcare system. And I'm sure if somebody asked for like 20 or 30 quid a month to join the public hospital, there'd be huge numbers of people wanting to join it. And 20 or 30 pound a month is a lot to Thailand for the public hospitals. So I think if they're looking that direction, that, you know, their hospital would improve with the amount of foreigners who want to pay that amount of money for a public hospital service. I mean, I know a couple of people who've had the public healthcare and they haven't complained about it. It's been okay. It equates to our NHS system, how they get looked after. So I don't think there's any problems with the public healthcare. I've got private medical insurance. It's not a lot, but I've had it now for about 10 years. I pay 25,000 baht a year, and that works out about 550 pounds a year for 700,000 bahts worth of cover. And I'm a pretty healthy guy, so I don't want to pay for like 3 or 4 million bahts worth of cover when I don't take any pills, lotions or potions. So I think I'm fairly healthy. I'm on my keto diet, so I'm actually losing a little bit of weight to improve my health as well. So why do I need 3 or 4 million bahts worth of cover? When I get older, I can increase that as the risk level increases also. Afternoon layers just got back. That main road's a little bit of airy. Oh, Trace, good. Trace, have you watched I've done the video on the camper van, so give that a look and see what you think. I think you'll be impressed, mate. Yeah, it depends which roads you went on with, a little bit hairy, but glad to see you back safe and sound. That's brilliant. On your talk about marriage visa, what the benefits over the retirement visa? Okay, I'll come on to that in a minute, Les, but why is 40,000 for a marriage visa and 800,000 retirement visa? The mind boggles. Okay, let's talk about the marriage visa then. This should be an interesting talk. Why did I lose my marriage visa? My marriage visa was cancelled by immigration. Now, sadly, my sister took ill, and I had to go to England for support and help her out, type of thing. So it was at the time of my visa renewal. So with your marriage visa, you have to do all the paperwork, which is an awful lot of paperwork to do, but it's the same every year. So once you know what's required, you just duplicate it every year. So the longer you do it, the easier it gets. But it's big. It's a lot of paperwork to do. So when you submit all the paper, you have to do it twice. So there's two bundles of exactly the same information, and then they send it to Bangkok and that takes a month, and then you get a stamp in your passport, a month of consideration. For consideration is the stamp, and then we're going to get checked on by immigration officer who comes around the house and makes sure we live in the address that we say we're living in. But because I wasn't going to be here for that month of consideration, then they couldn't grant my visa. They couldn't extend it. They couldn't do anything else. They offered various options, which wasn't suitable because they were going to change it to a retirement visa. But because I didn't put 65,000 in every month, they couldn't transfer me to a retirement visa. So they said the best option is to cancel the visa once I left Thailand, then reapply for a marriage visa, O visa based on marriage. And that gives me 90-day O visa to come back into Thailand, which I did. So I applied to the London embassy, which was a whole nightmare, all of the paperwork, because I actually live in Thailand, so I didn't have a proper address or anything in England, but that's another story. But we got over that, and I got my 90-day visa application, O visa based on marriage. That was fine. So when we came back, that was 90 days I had. So when I came back, I always want to get things done. So me and the wife, we got all the paperwork done. We got everything done. And then we went to the immigration office 2 months before it was due to run out my 90 days. Because I thought, I just want to get it done now. I've got all the paperwork. Let's go and get it done. So we went to the immigration officer, and she recognizes from before. And she said, you're too early. You need to come back in another month. So basically, at the end of the second month, so there's only 1 month left, then I can go and apply for my marriage visa visa based on marriage. So we got turned down. So now we go back on the 12th of November for our second application to go and get our marriage visa. And again, we've got all the paperwork. She said, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need the other. This is the paperwork. So we got all the paperwork already. The only extra thing I've got to do is get another month's worth of bank statements to cover me for the month that has just gone by. So that's not a big shake, but everything else is done. We've also got to take a witness with us to say that they know us. And so we've got a friend of ours, his Thai wife is going to come down to the immigration office with us, sign a bit of paper, say, yes, I know Les and I know Ploy, and I've known her for X many years. And she gives her ID card, gets the stamp. Then that's all the paperwork done, and it goes under consideration. And then I'm here. And then easy street for 11 months until we have to do all the paperwork again. So that's the reason why my marriage visa got cancelled. And that's why we have to apply for a new one. Now, the benefits of the marriage visa over the retirement visa is that on the retirement visa, your income has to be 65,000 a month or 800,000 baht in the bank. And the 800,000 baht in the bank, you're allowed to go down to 400, but not 1 baht below that. Where the marriage visa, 400,000 baht in the bank 2 months before your application. And then you can spend all of that 400,000 baht if you want after you've got your visa, and then put it back in the bank 2 months before. So it doesn't have to be left in the bank all of that time. And also the income method on the marriage visa is only 40,000 baht a month because you're married. How crazy, isn't it? Yeah, a single man needs 65, but a married man to a Thai person only needs 40,000. So, and you do have a little bit more rights under the marriage visa. You're allowed to work. They will turn a little blind eye. You get all the horror stories, like if you're cutting the grass, the Thai immigration will stop you saying you're doing a Thai man's work or something like that. So you shouldn't be doing that. I've never met one single person of all the people I've met that they've been bothered with that. They turn a blind eye. Unless you're running a business. I know a couple of guys who got done by the immigration police because they took an A board. This is the room rate, put it outside. I was brushing the dust up with a dustpan and brush. Immigration took some photographs of them and said, you're working. But normally every day, guys, if you're not running a business, you've got nothing to worry about. So in a nutshell, that's another long-winded explanation, isn't it, about the marriage visas and the retirement visas. I hope you got that. I hope that's okay. So thanks for asking the question. So yeah, we've discussed that. Why is it more beneficial? Phuket City, why in Chiang Mai, I know charges 8 and 10 baht per visit for the service. Government VAC here in Phuket City. I don't quite understand that one. The Foreign Customer Office have PR girls who speak English, who are fast-tracked to see a doctor, and then the government, with the most Thai insurance companies, who they will bill direct a third of the cost. Yeah, again, the healthcare system, it can be expensive, but it also can be cheap. I've said to my wife, because we have a public hospital near us, but it's sort of the best public hospital, but it's on our list of insurers. So I said to Ploy, if I'm unconscious or something like that, do not send me to the Bangkok hospital. Send me to the public hospital first, and because my insurance will go further on that type of insurance, as opposed to going straight to the Bangkok hospital. I don't need any porters opening and shutting the doors, and a nice golf cart to take you from the car park to the main entrance. We have been in the Bangkok hospital a few times. I got a skin cancer check. They took 3 biopsies, and wow, the service, the bucket seats that you sit in are all leather. They're not the plastic seats that you'd sit anywhere else. The staff are immaculately dressed. You get chaperone from A to B, chaperone to go and pay, of course. But everything is just like 5-star hotel wise. It really, really is. And but the reason why I went to the Bangkok hospital to get the cancer thing checked out, to see, because I thought I had some melanomas, because my mother had skin cancer, so it's best to go and get them checked out. That was 8,000 baht. I went seen the doctor. The doctor says, he said, I'm almost certain that they're not cancerous. I said, well, I want to be 100% certain. And he said, the way to do that is to send them for a biopsy. And I said, yeah, do that, please. So a week later, we got the result from the biopsy. The whole cost of that, I was in and out within an hour and a half, and it was 8,000 baht, about 180 quid. Peace of mind, it was well worth the 180 quid. And the reason why I didn't go to the public hospital for that, because Thai people don't suffer from melanoma. So there are not good skin cancer doctors in Thailand, and they may miss or misjudge as a mole or something like that. Whereas if you go to the Bangkok hospital, they've got the best doctors there, and the likelihood that you're going to go see a really, really good skin doctor. It was a skin specialist part of the hospital that I went to see anyway. So I was over the moon when he said that to me, that everything was okay. So for me, that was well worth the 8,000 baht for that peace of mind. I live in Chiang Mai, passing the time cooking and making my own beer. Oh, I used to be a home brew. I used to make my own wines back in the UK. Making your own beer. Oh, well done. I like the dark beers, but I'm a Chang drinker. I prefer Chang to Leo and Singha. So Chang is very nice. Done a full medical check at Bangkok Hospital, 550 quid. Absolutely impressed. Would cost a fortune in the UK to have the same. Well, who's that? Malcolm Day. Well, absolutely spot on, mate. What I say to people who can't afford the medical insurance and things like that, go for one of these scans and be prepared to listen what the results are, because if there's something wrong with you, they're going to find it early. And if they find it early, you get treated early. So if you can't afford the insurance, every 2 years, go for it, for that, from there to your tummy. And that's all your vital organs, your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys, your heart, your lungs. If there's anything wrong, they're going to find it early, and then they can treat it rather than wait until you're sick. So for 550 quid, it's worth the peace of mind, isn't it? So well done. Absolutely brilliant for that answer. This is what I say to people. And also the people who say that they can't afford medical insurance here. If you've got the 800,000 baht in the bank for your retirement visa, just use that as the emergency money for your medical treatment. It's not a lot, is it? 800,000, but boy, when you need it, and it's there. And don't worry about getting your retirement visa the following year because you've dipped into that money. And that's what the agents can do. For 30,000 baht or so, an agent can get you your retirement visa until you put the money back into the pot or you get things sorted out. But that 800,000 baht in the bank serves two purposes: for self-insurance and also being able to get your retirement visa, which is the easiest visa to get. I had this discussion with somebody the other day. He said that Thailand is very complicated. They should make it a lot more easier for people to get retirement visas. And he ticked all the boxes. I said, you must be in and out in 15 minutes to get you. He said, well, yeah, I am. But that's because I have the 800,000 in the bank. I said, well, there you go. What are you complaining about? It can't be any easier. 15 minutes in and out visa. Yeah, but I have to tell them every 90 days. I said, I do that on the computer. It takes me 5 minutes every 90 days. I said, is that difficult? You trying to get a visa to get your Thai partner back to the UK or America, that's complicated. That's a lot of paperwork for you compared to us foreigners trying to stay in Thailand. Thailand make it super easy in my mind. David Baker, hello Les, have you purchased a camper van? No, I haven't, Dave. I've always liked camper vans, and I was talking to people, van lifers in the UK, and I like camper vans, and my friend was interested in getting a camper van. So as soon as he said he was going down to Bangkok to look at them, and to be fair, he only had one place he was going to go and look at, and I did a bit of research and we found another place. So he had more things to look at, but Ploy had to be the translator. So in reality, Ploy did a lot of the work for translating to him as far as what is required for the vans. And, tax over here is a massive change of use of a vehicle. You can pay an absolute fortune over here because of the Thai laws to buy a camper van. If I had the money to buy a camper van, I'd buy a camper van, no problem. The vehicles are about 11 to 14 years old, and they're done out to a really high standard with the Siam camper vans. Stunningly beautiful for 599, so 600,000 baht, which is about 14,000 pounds, and it's beautiful. But I'd need a rooftop to be higher, a little bit higher. So that might be chopping $1 million baht, 20,000 pounds to get one of them. And I haven't got 20,000 pounds just to go and spend. If I had the money, I'd go and buy one tomorrow. And I'm quite shocked as to how big the van life is over here. It's sort of something that you don't see. There's a lot of stealth vans over here, because if you have a stealth van, you don't pay any tax, or you can avoid paying the tax. But if you make it look like a motorhome, boy, do you get hammered with a tax for changing use of the van from a commercial vehicle to a van or a motorhome. So that's probably why I never noticed them. But the two places that we went, there was a 3-month waiting list before you get on the list to get one built. And then it's about a 4-month wait before you get it built. They will build it to any design that you want. And the Siam camper van, everything there is cut to perfection. They have the laser cutters, they have the in-house upholsterers, seamstresses, furniture makers, mechanics, everything, absolutely everything is there. And I think it's a bargain. So if somebody wants to buy me a camper van, I'll do many videos with a camper van, because that would be lovely to do as well, because I've always liked the van life people are the salt of the earth. And I can only imagine they'd be just the same over here as well. But it's a big growing trend over here in Thailand, is people living in maybe it's not living in the vans, but holidays in the vans and things like that. Because caravans over here are a novelty. People will pay more to stop in a caravan overnight than paying in a hotel room. There's a caravan holiday place just around the corner from us, and they charge $1,000 for a night. And I think it's $1,000 for a 2-night stay. And it's absolutely and they charge 2,000 baht a night to stop in a 2-berth caravan. And the equivalent hotel is like 1,500 baht. But they're right on the beach. It's lovely. So it's a novelty for the Thai people. Pardon me. I'm on a marriage extension and asked the head of the immigration why the funds difference between marriage and the retirement. His explanation: your Thai wife can work and earn money, retirement can't. Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, that's one way, but it didn't really bother me, because it was where it was. It only required 400,000 baht, so that's all I needed to know. I never really asked the question, but thanks very much for providing that. That's something I didn't know. Well done. He also told me working on your own home is not considered as well. Yeah, again, so many people have told me off about trimming the grass, cutting the edge. If the immigration police see you, you'll get evicted from Thailand. No. That's them keyboard warriors who say everything is bad. If you use your 800k baht for medical costs, then would be a worry when renewing. No, why would it be a worry? If you've had to use the 800,000 baht for your medical costs, you can use an agent. Agents are absolutely everywhere in Thailand and are sort of accepted. It's a grey area, but it's accepted. And let's face it, if you don't have the 800,000 baht, you pay 30,000 baht to a visa agent, and the visa agent, you don't have to have the 800,000 baht in the bank. You don't have to prove any income every month. You will still get your retirement visa. And then that gives you a year to put your 800,000 baht in, or to provide, to show that you've got 65,000 income method coming in. It's doable. I advise people all the time on how they can do it, and it's easy. So 800,000, I'd sooner have that as a backup for my medical than not have it, and it works. Les, you forgot to mention the compulsory medical insurance for the OA retirement visa. Now there's a difference. There is an O visa and there is an OA visa. I applied for the O visa based on marriage, not the OA. If it's an OA, then you have to show medical insurance for your duration of stay. But because I applied for the O visa based on marriage, I didn't have to show my medical. I didn't have to have any medical insurance. But I do have medical insurance over here with Pacific Cross. So there's a difference when you're applying for your OA visa or O visa. There is a big difference. I was up at Udon Thani Government Cancer Hospital this week, checking for a friend. No big queues, very modern. Told me the charge is the same as Thai's, 500 Thai baht for consultation with a cancer. Yeah, it's 500 baht for the consultation of the doctor. Again, it can be very cheap, but I also know a friend of mine. Okay, you laugh at this. He had a boil on the bum, a boil on his bum, and so he got some cream from the pharmacist because he didn't want to pay any money to go and see a doctor. But the boil increased in size, and so he went to see the Bangkok. There's a clinic here run by the Bangkok hospital. And they charged him 5,000 baht to lance the boil on the cheeks of his bottom. 5,000 baht. He was in and out in like half an hour, but 5,000 baht later. And then 6 or 7 months later, the boil reappeared again. Same problem. So he went to the public hospital, in and out in an hour, and it cost him 1,000 baht. Same operation, same boil on the bum, same place, same lancing. 1,000 in the public hospital, 5,000 in the Bangkok clinic. So yeah, if you've got a boil on the bum, go to the public hospital. Would you say letting agents are the best option to find rental property, or Facebook, word of mouth, etc.? I would say go and find it yourself, because if you find it with an agent, then the agents get a commission. And if you negotiate yourself, so let's say a condo was 20,000 baht and you've seen the advert, because if you go to every condo, there's a public reception area, and you will see condos for rent on there. So if you give the guy or the lady a ring with the telephone number, you can then get a discount, because then they know they don't have to pay the agent's fees. So it is better to go have a look yourself, go look around the area that you want to live, and there's always properties for sale. If you can negotiate yourself, you can get a better deal for sure. But the agents are very easy. You just go to an agent and they've got loads of properties, so you're not riding around all over the place, and they will take you in the car to go and visit these places. But there is a cost and there is a fee for that also. So yeah, do the groundwork yourself. If you find an area that you want to go and live, and then do your negotiations by yourself, and then you'll save yourself some money. But agents are good because they have the quantity and quality of properties, and you can go and look at like 6 or 10 properties in a day. So yeah, that's the letting agents. Good morning from gloomy Skinning Grove, Les. Morning, David. I've just posted a video, mate, on camper vans over here, so give that a look. You'll be interested in that one, I'm sure. And the prices are very reasonable, especially the second one, the Siam camper vans. So have a look at that. Dave's another guy that I met in the UK, and he's into his van life as well, van life people. And we went and bought a vehicle with me and Dave. He's a nice guy, and I've seen his van, his little Citroen Berlingo, and we went for a few beers in the Mail, Skinning Grove, lovely place. And again, it's through him I met other van life people as well. And van life people, for me, the salt of the earth, lovely people. So have a look at that, Dave. You'll be interested, I'm sure. Do they do skin biopsy and checking for skin cancer for foreign? What would they? Yeah, charge 8,000 baht for me at the Bangkok hospital. Sounds like your pain is the pain in the ass. I'm too polite to say. 65,000 per month or 800 deposit. Previously, the details said combination would be okay, but somewhere recently it seems the message is that no longer okay and have a copy. Yeah, it used to be the case that you could have the combination method, but now they don't accept the combination method. It is one or the other. Also, I was told by my immigration officer that all I needed to do if I wanted a retirement visa, put 65,000 baht a month for 3 months, then that is enough on your first retirement application form, and that shows the income method, and then they would allow that. But I've had other subscribers and they've showed me that the writing in the paperwork, and they said the immigration officer says no, you have to show 12 months of 65,000 baht a month coming into your bank account to qualify for the retirement visa. So hey ho, there's a way around that system as well. Using an agent for the first year, so there you get 15 months. You get 15 months visa. So over the next 12 months, you put 65,000 baht into your bank account every month, and then the second year you don't need to use a visa because you've got the income method of 65,000 baht a month. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There's always a way around it. I'm sure they would have removed the boil. Yeah, and that's without anesthetic, because of the pain. Just a couple of whiplashes, and that might have burst his boil, and he might have loved it. At the castle, wow, that brings back some memories. The castle in Pattaya. I forgot to thank you, Les, for all the advice, help, and information you provide. No problem. I'm a mind of information. I've lived here for 12 years, so I've sort of been there, seen it done, got the T-shirt, and can give advice. Whether you take the advice, that's totally up to you, but I don't give you any BS. And my advice is always honest advice, and I always direct you I don't get any commissions and things like that for sending people to the visa agents and things like that. I get no commissions. I don't take commissions because then I can give my honest and truthful opinions as I did with the assisted living and things like that. And hotels, I always give a description of the hotel, good or bad or whatever. I won't slag it off, but I'll mention it in such a way that there are other options. And again, the hotel that we stopped at in Bangkok was a beautiful hotel for 1,100 baht a night in the center of Bangkok. Absolutely fantastic. So good value. But we always go between 1,000 and 2,000 baht a night for the hotels. Usually between 1,000 and 500, but occasionally we'll go up to 2,000. But in Ban Rak Thai, wow, that's where we're going for Christmas. And for 2 nights, it's 4,700 a night. The second most expensive hotel we've ever stayed in the 12 years that I've been in Thailand. But hopefully it lives up to the reputation it precedes itself. So that's Ban Rak Thai, that's sort of as far north as you can get in Thailand. So we're going there for Christmas, and then going to Pai, and then going to Chiang Mai for New Year. So looking forward to that. And again, we've got another trip in November. We're going to see a friend's house ceremony to get his house blessed. Then we're going to have a day at a homestay on the 18th, I think it is. Then we may be going down to Hua Hin next weekend. I'll get that confirmed, looking at assisted living houses, or a new venture that's just been started up in Hua Hin. I'm looking forward to that, but I'll confirm that Monday or Tuesday, and hopefully I'll get a video out done for that. So we've still got loads of things. I still haven't finished all my solar videos, my garden videos. I made a little bit of a mistake with my solar, but that's another video coming out, what to look out for, because I'm still learning with solar. Although I'm an electrician, I still made the mistake. And I found out the mistake that I made, and it cost me to repair it another 2,500 baht, like 70 quid, which isn't a big thing at the end of the day. But I still made use of the other some dogs having a look at my driveway. Yeah, so I still made use of the 450 watt solar panel. But again, that'll come in another video. But like now, everything is running on solar. The electricity running in my computer, the electricity that's running the fan, it's all on my solar. So it's all sort of all free. I have my TV, my computer, my fans, all working on solar all day, every day. And it's good. And with the power that I've got now, the batteries are charged up by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at the latest, now that it's sunny and it's not grey clouds or rainy season. So yeah, lots more videos to come. Hey, Les from Japan. You always look healthier when you are in Thailand. Maybe it's that nice sun-kissed glow. Yeah, it is. It's the sunshine, the blue skies. It makes everybody feel better. Everybody said the same thing about when I was in Redcard. Gloomy, I always looked sick and I always looked ill, and I always look better over here. And I do feel better that I'm over here. But that's a lot to do with losing some weight as well. I've lost, coming on to keto, my keto diet, I've lost 7 kilos, which is just over 7 kilos, which is about 15.5 pounds. So that's just over a stone in a month. And I'll do a little plug for those people who want to look on keto. I do a keto video every Sunday. And as soon as I finish this live stream, I'll be putting me video that I made today with regard to up-to-date keto. And I've lost another couple of kilos. So I'm down to 104.4 kilos from 111.4 kilos 4 weeks ago. But I've also done another keto ebook, and this is for free. So I've got 2 keto ebooks: Thrive on Keto, a sustainable approach to weight loss. And if you send me an email, I'll give you this for free. The other one that I'm also saying, you can have a choice of do a ketogenic lifestyle, not a diet. So you can have either one of them free. If I come across it, just send me an email. I'll put my email address on there, and I'll send you this for free. So for those people who are a little bit overweight, try the keto diet. It works for me, and I love it, and it's dead easy to do. I only eat 1 meal a day, and I don't even feel hungry. So hang on. There's the piece in 58 at yahoo.com. Come. There you go. Send me an email. Ask which one you want. Ketogenic diet, a lifestyle, not a diet, or thrive on a keto, a sustainable approach to weight loss. I swear by the keto. Again, even when I went to Bangkok, it's not difficult. You can still live a keto life, even in the big city. You can. So I didn't come off ketosis or anything. I was very strict with myself. I must admit, I could have had some beers because I was on holiday. It was a holiday feeling. I could have eaten Penang curry or Massaman curry, which is my favorite, but I didn't. I had the healthy option. And because I want to lose at least another 5, possibly 10 kilos before I go away for my Christmas holiday in December, knowing that then I can eat wherever I want to eat or drink what I want to drink over the Christmas period. Let's face it, who doesn't put weight on over the Christmas period? So I'm sort of preparing for that. Many people will say, well, you've got to watch what you eat. I've always yo-yoed on my weight, and I always will do. So at the end of the day, that's the price that I pay for eating what I want to do. But I find the keto diet is an easy diet to go on to lose them few extra kilos that you put on. So anyway, that's my plug on my keto diet. I've got other videos. I've got other ebooks on the shop as well. There's a link in the description below for internet dating, moving to Thailand, growing old doesn't last for very long, stuff like that. All $3, so it's the price of a cup of coffee. And at least with my channel, I will never ever have a subscription on my channel where people have to pay to watch some videos or to get the early videos. I will never ever have a what they call it, I forget, where you pay a monthly subscription to be able to join the channel, to support the channel. Everything that I do is free, but if you pay for anything, it's pay for the books or something like that. It's $3, the price of a cup of coffee. But at least you get something in return for it as well. It's not just watching a video a week or so early. So that's my little plug. And there's other people, Patreon, that's the word I was looking for, Patreon. Maybe Alzheimer's or dementia's coming in because I couldn't remember that word. Patreon, there's, I think almost every YouTuber that I know has a Patreon, you know, where people subscribe to them and that. No, I don't want any of that. Everything that all the information I give is free. If everybody asks me any question, it's for free. There are other YouTubers that I know. If you want to have a one-to-one chat with them, they charge £45 for a 30-minute chat, and you have to pay up front before they arrange the chat with you. If you want to have a chat with me, it's $10. Whether it's for an hour or whether it's for 3 hours, it's the same thing. And you don't pay until after we've had the chat. And then if you didn't get the information you want, you don't pay anyway. So it's sort of a win-win situation. So therefore, you can do it on a WhatsApp face-to-face chat, $10 for as long as you want, for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, to get all the information that you want. And if I don't give you the information you want, you don't pay. Simple as that, isn't it? $10 compared to like some people. There's one guy I know who charges £500 for an hour's chat with him. 500 quid. Woo! Now that's very, very expensive, isn't it? Okay, question. Could I buy a new van and pay them to convert it? And how much is the tax change of use? Oh, okay, right. We'll go into this. Because this is just sort of, like it's Thailand. There's a way around it. You can buy a brand new van. You can get them to do it. Change of use to a camper van. I must put some more water with the water. Long story short, let's say you paid $1 million baht for the van and you paid 500,000 or 600,000 baht for the conversion. So let's say 1.5 million. If you design that and change of use from a commercial vehicle to a motorhome or a camper van, you could end up paying 80% in tax. So it's 80% above the 1.5 million you paid because you've changed the use of the vehicle. And if you put the higher roof on, that's another 250,000 baht just to get the paperwork to say you've changed the roof, even though they make it look as if it's all part of because the spray, the old van, so it all matches in together, and it just looks like a roof rack, and it doesn't look as if you've had the roof extended. To get the paperwork done and the tax, because you've altered the use of the van, the top rate could be 80% of whatever. But the swing around on how they do this, you get your van, they will put the crappiest cupboards in and doors and beds and make it just to say habitable. It looks like the cheapest furniture wherever. So instead of 500,000 baht that you're going to get taxed on for a good quality installation of the furniture and that, they might charge 100,000. So you're only going to get paid tax. You will only have to pay tax on that amount. And then when they get you've sorted all the paperwork and they bring it back, then they put the top quality furniture in. That's a way around the system, but that's if you want to pay the tax and have it registered as a camper van and motorhome. If you get a normal toilet in there in the camper van and they have a tank at the bottom of the van and all your gubbins goes into there and there's just a lever that you open up and it goes into a pipe, so there's no cassette toilet. But if you have a cassette toilet, you've altered the shape of the van because you've had a cutout on the side of the van. You pay tax for that because you've altered the construction of the van. So the way around it, you can have a cassette toilet put in if you want, but you can have the cassette coming out inside the van as opposed to having a hole on the outside of the van. And you can actually put things into the van that are not screwed to the wall. You can take everything out. And if you take everything out, then it can still be classed as a commercial van because everything can come out. There's a picture on the first video of a black van and it just looks so bare with a bed that's going to be in there. That is designed so everything can be taken out. So if the police stop you and you do have it as a motorhome and you don't have the paperwork to say it's registered as a motorhome and they can see it's a motorhome, then they can find you because inappropriate use of a vehicle. But if you can say, well, nothing's screwed in, I can take everything out and I've just put this in, then it's still classed as a commercial vehicle and you don't pay the tax. So there is ways around it, but the worst case scenario is you're going to pay 80% tax for the cost of the vehicle and the cost of the renovation inside the vehicle. And let's face it, nobody is paying that 80% because if they do, then they've got more money than sense. So that's the way around it. But again, have a talk with Paul from Siam Campervans, and he'll explain that. The Thai person tried to explain it to my friend, and I still didn't get my head around it until I talked to Paul from Siam Campervans. But my friend asked for a camper van, so that he was given my friend Mick the top rate of the 80% tax, and Mick said, "Oh, that's just stupid. We're getting ripped off. We're getting ripped off by this person." But in reality, the Thai man was telling him what he wanted to know because he wanted it registered as a motorhome. So, but he couldn't explain to my wife in such a manner that my wife could explain to him about the tax. And it was only Paul later on from Siam Campervans who told us what the score was with regard to the tax. So yeah, that's another long-winded explanation, wasn't it? But yeah, that's the way around it. Okay. Will do, Les. Sorry for the late reply as I posted that when I had put you on pause. Cheap Charlie breakfast arrived. No problem, Dave. Have a look, give it a thumbs up, and at the last count there was over 500 people viewed it, so it looks like it's going to be a good video. Basically, you need to win the lottery before considering a camper van in Thailand. No, actually, when you think of it, it's still cheaper than what you would pay for a van and a conversion in the UK. Now, let's take again a van that was in the first video. If you have a look at that one, it's a white Toyota, I think it is, and it's a brand new van. And this guy's got it made into a day van. And all the fixtures and fittings inside the van has cost 450,000 baht, so £9,000. But it's quality work. But this is what he wanted. He wanted a day van so he could still keep it as a commercial vehicle. And it looked beautiful. I mean, I couldn't sit down like that all the time. But again, there are other people who live in small vans who sit down all the time and they're okay with that. I need to be able to walk around, and so there's a premium to pay for that if that's the type of quality you want. But roughly, you can get a van fully kitted out with a toilet, shower, air conditioning, nice furniture, beds and all that stuff for between 450 and 800,000. So like 10,000 to 15,000 pounds, and it is a bespoke van to your needs in Thailand. So it's not that expensive really, and it would work out more expensive if you got the same quality work done. You know, I mean, bearing in mind these guys are probably only on £10 a day to convert your van. How much would you pay a professional to convert your van in the UK? So swings and roundabouts really. So I think it you know, if I had the money, if I had like 600,000 baht, I'd buy one tomorrow, and I'd go all over the place in Thailand with it. So if there's anybody want me to do a video on van life, buy me this 600,000 baht van, and I will do videos about traveling around Thailand in a van. There is a couple of English guys, one English guy, I forget the name of his channel, but he bought a van for the cheapest van from Siam Camper Vans, 599,000 baht, I think it was, and he loves it. There's one or two things he'd change, but I watched one of his videos this morning, and it's just parked it up by the beach, opened it up, got his grill out, and he had bacon and egg, sausage and eggs type of thing, and a salad. And it's just like, wow. And you can do that over here. The vans might be small inside, but Thailand, with the weather, you can do a lot of outside sitting because you know, it's warm. Pull that canopy over and you can sit outside all day. Brilliant. And there's a lot more vans now that I've seen how they're made, and the stealth the vans, so they don't have to pay taxes, so they don't get bothered by the police, because it just looks like a normal commercial vehicle. Because then the police, if they stop a camper van and if it hasn't got the right paperwork, there's another team money collection. So team money helps their Christmas club fund every year for sure. Good afternoon, Les from Pattaya Beach. Enjoying the videos and the information to help my decision to retirement in Thailand. Good. Pattaya, it'll help you make that decision as well. Jomtien I like Jomtien. It's just out of the madness in Pattaya. And I think we'll be coming down to Jomtien certainly within the next 3 or 4 weeks. A friend of mine wants to go and have a look, so we'll go down there and have a look. That sounds like an awful lot of tax on a camper van. It is, you know. But again, when you talk to the people in the UK, the change in the use of the vehicle from one to another, there was one guy, he said if you change the use of his vehicle from a commercial vehicle to a camper van, it went up from, I think, £195 a year for tax to £700 a year tax, just to put it on the road. So that's a hell of a difference. So again, in England, you know, there are rules and regulations, and people sort of bend the law. And to get insurance for a motorhome, from a van conversions to a motorhome, for insurance, the motorhome has to have logos on the side. So if it doesn't have logos on the side, then you can't get insurance for a camper van or, you know, a change of use. So it's not just Thailand with their weird ways. It happens in the UK, and I'm sure it happens in America and Australia as well. There's always a price to pay when you're changing from one use of a vehicle to another. But is it acceptable? I'm sure it's a small price to pay, but you can skirt around, and I'm sure 95% of the people don't get the full, will not pay the full 80% tax to get it road legal, 100% legal. So, yeah, but just skirting around, and that's what people do. JB, I agree, but it's still cheaper than buying from the UK. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I've just had a look at your camper van video. The Siam vans look the business. It is. He's been doing this for a few years now. And again, there's a 3-month wait list before you can even start planning on your van. Then it's about a 3 to 4 month build on it. But again, Paul, he's got it cracked there. The business, the other place, was run by a Thai guy with Cambodians. It's all hand built type of thing. They do not have the machines that Paul has for cutting out for the intricate work type of thing. And the Siam vans, it's actually not much more expensive to buy one of his vans than buy one of the ones from the Thai guy. But the first one, he had 8 vans, and they were all sold. They were all customer vans. So again, same thing. He has a 4-month waiting list before you can get the vans, and he wants it nailed down to how you want it. And if you want to make any changes, it costs you to get the changes. So he will sit and go through the exact things that you want for the van, and he'll get a plan drawn so you know exactly what you want, and he knows what you want, and any alterations whatsoever, he'll charge you extra for that. So you've got to know what you want. But every single one of them is bespoke. Every single one of them is handmade in both companies. And to get something handmade in England, wow, it's a frightening cost. Singha lemon soda, 0 calories. Very, very nice. It's a new one that's just come out. All we have in our house is 0 calorie sodas, and water and that as well. It all helps losing the weight. So everybody that's on the live stream, have a look at the camper van ones. You'll be surprised. They are very, very nice. How much hire a van for a week? I don't think he hires the vans. He just builds them for the customers. But there are camper vans that you can hire around Thailand, but they are like the truck-based ones. And there are a few motorhomes like they are in the UK or America. But I think they start from 3,000 or 4,000 baht a night. I did see one advertised the other day, and that was 6,000 baht a night for a 4-berth. And it was only a small one. It was the size of a truck. Basically was a truck with a pod on the back of it. Professionally done, professionally made, don't get me wrong. And you can get them professionally made like that. And they're about at least 1.5 million up to 2 million baht. And that's got the solar panels and things like that. So they are available, and I've seen quite a few of them about here and there. But to get one professionally made that will have the tax paid, because it's been built as a camper van, so there's no tax to pay, but you pay the tax up front because it is that type of vehicle. But again, it's 1.5 million is a minimum, 2 to 2.5 million baht for sure. But again, they're out there. It's doing your research, doing the looking type of thing. I didn't go to any of them because there's no, I'd struggle to get 500,000 baht, but to get 1.5 million, 2 million, that's never going to happen. But I also like watching the conversions that have been done on the vans and what you can do. That amazes me, how you can turn a normal everyday van into somewhere beautiful that you can sleep, sit, eat, and have a good time with. Billy Bob, I think you be best going online and calling them. Probably best a Thai do for some of the reception girls spoke English. If you look on the webpage, reviews, foreigners give good reviews. Now, Siam camper vans, if that's what you're talking about, I don't know. I maybe jumping the gun there. Billy Bob's having a conversation with somebody else. Okay, question, those vans for 600,000 or 700,000 baht, I could see you buying a lot of trouble. I can imagine those vans have had a hard life before they get being converted. Well, he guarantees the engine and the gearbox and mechanical things, shock absorbers and everything else like that. He has a set of mechanics that go through everything, and there's a 3-month warranty on the engine parts. And if you want to change it from a manual to a automatic, he imports all the gubbin from Japan, and he bolts on, and that's 65,000 to change it to an automatic. Yeah.
Can I speak?
You what? Sorry.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
I'll go market.
You want to go to the market? You want me to take you?
No, you can do. I drive motorbike.
Okay. Yeah.
You want barbecue pork chicken?
Grilled.
Grill.
Yeah.
Only.
Okay.
No dessert, nothing.
No, that'll do. Thank you. Okay, thank you. She's going to go to the market. I'm going to go treat some grilled chicken. So, where were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the 700,000. So, he guarantees the engine for 3 months. The beauty of Thailand is that everything is fixable. Absolutely everything. So, if something goes wrong with the engine or something like that, let's face it, it's the engine that's going to, if you're going to have any problems, the shock absorbers, it's like every other vehicle. You can change your shock absorber, but an engine, they could rebuild an engine in a day or 2 days over here. And let's face it, there are hundreds of them type of vans all over the place. So, yes, I agree. They're an old van and they've been used a lot, but also there's a lot of service left in them as well. Because you ain't going to be doing the mileage like they used to be doing, trundling up and down the motorways, taking people from A to B. So, yeah, but it's not a lot of money to pay. How much would you pay for a similar one in the UK? And if something did go wrong with the engine, how much would it cost to get the engine replaced or repaired in the UK? Cheap as chips over here. Everything can be replaced or repaired. And you're only paying somebody £10 a day at the very most. £10 a day to look at any of your problems. So again, swings and roundabouts, mate, but I would say I wouldn't worry about it. If you look at government cancer hospitals, Is it legal for a tourist to receive a donation from a Thai for a job or service? Why would you tell them? I do some voluntary work for a friend of mine, Michelle, in the cat sanctuary. I do voluntary work for a day around her house, and because she's a nice person, she's looking after cats. She's sort of a charity. She has over 100 cats, so she needs help, but she hasn't got the money to pay people to come along. So she has people from Workaway, which is another great area in Thailand. So people come and work a certain amount of hours a day for accommodation and food. So is that working, or is that just helping somebody? And I think this is where the Thai police turn a blind eye. If somebody's doing something nice for things, then they'll turn a blind eye. But if you were running in a bar or a restaurant or servicing something like that, then that's not sort of helping the people or things that need to be helped, like soy dogs or cats or, poor people, things like that. So strictly speaking, if you work for a Thai person, you are not allowed to work. You are not allowed to get money. It's like me, because I'm married. If we run a farm, I am allowed to drive the tractor. I'm allowed to work in the fields. I'm allowed to work doing bits and pieces as long as I do not get any money for it. Cash free, in other words. That's another beauty of having a marriage visa, that you are allowed to do a little bit of work, but for no reward. You can just do it for voluntary work or work in your farm or house or buildings. But as long as you don't get any money for it. And of course, I don't get any money for working at Michelle's. In fact, I give her a donation every month, as well as spending a day doing some work, helping the cats, not working for the cats, helping the cats. There is a difference. But if you're doing the odd job, I wouldn't worry about it. Blah, blah. Les, do you buy much online, Thailand, or do you always go to the shops, markets, or malls? Loads of malls opening in Bangkok, but online sales are going up. Lazada is my friend. We probably get deliveries from Lazada every single week. All my solar stuff come from Lazada. The inverter, the panels, the batteries, everything's come from Lazada. Because if you go to the Thai What to Do or the Global House and things like that, the big DIY stores, they're almost half again the price. And I just think buying online makes more sense, and it gets delivered for to your house as well. So I've had very, very few problems with things that are bought off Lazada. There's one or two things, but it's like everything else. You're always going to get them. But if you bought the same product from the Thai What to Do or Global House and there was something wrong with it, you still have an equal problem trying to get your money back or a replacement in Global or Thai What to Do, because we've had that problem with a printer a couple of so years ago. Big arguments trying to get me printer refunded because it didn't do what it says it was going to do. But again, that was another video that I made about my printer. Ben Davies, hi Les. Hi Ben. Thanks for joining us. I worked in healthcare in hospitals, both general and care for the elderly nursing. I've been in government hospitals here in Thailand, especially all the big university hospitals were great. Good to hear. What if I was hold a party and it's all free, but people can donate to help pay for that? Yeah, that's no problem. No donations. Again, no problems with that. Again, there's a lot of it by word, not word of mouth, bending the rules, if you like. So you can bend the rules, and as long as you can justify it, donations are never any problems. Like for instance, my friends are getting married, so everybody's going to be donating towards their marriage. So, you can't argue against a donation, can you? The fact that you get instant service and no waiting to come back next month. Back home, I got to see the pathology. Oh yeah, more treatment in the hospitals. Yeah, again, hospital treatment for things like that is okay. I've never had a problem with that. And again, I've got friends who've been in the hospitals and had treatment. When my friend got diagnosed with dementia, what happened? I've got an Australian friend. I've been friends with him for 10 years, and he's got dementia. And when we discussed it with him, he disagreed that he's got dementia because he was forgetting his credit card numbers, his bank card numbers, and all sorts of stuff, forgetting when he had to do his 90 days. So what we had to do, we had to sort of take all of that out of his hands, and we had to get power of attorney put over to his family. So they would send in an income every month, and his girlfriend could take the money out of the account because they had an account. So then she could do the day-to-day spending, if you like. But we had to go get him certified that he's got dementia. So we took him to the public hospital. He's seen 2 doctors. He had a CAT scan and blood works taken. And I think we were in and out of the hospital. It took 5 hours altogether. I think 4 or 5 hours. It wasn't an all-day event. But he had his certification to say he's got dementia, or the early signs of dementia. This is going back a few years ago now. So then that was enough to give the power of attorney to his family. So they now took over his money in Australia, which probably wasn't the best thing to do, but it involved his family because we thought his family have to get involved with this somehow. Me and my friend couldn't sort his finances out because otherwise questions had come back to us. And family and money is always a weird situation, but I won't go too far into that. But it probably wasn't the best choice that we could have made. So again, that's that. What time we're on? Coming up to 2 hours, almost 2 hours now. And we've still got 89 and 78 thumbs up. Thanks very much for. So anybody got any other questions? Otherwise, I'll start on talking about another topic in a minute. Because this is your chance to ask any questions what you want. So we've already discussed I'm going to Hua Hin next week with regard to the assisted living. That's always a good video. I've always get many people. I always get many people asking about the assisted living and ways and means of being able to do it. Yes, see my question above. I can't see your question. No, it must have gone above the question. So fire the question again, and we'll answer it. Oh, about renting a house in Rayong. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that question. It's just skipped up as I'm trying to scroll back is anyway. Okay, renting a house in Rayong. Yep. Again, I've showed a few people around the houses in Rayong, and the two that I put on my channel, on both of them, the second person to view it rented it. So the houses are rented now. The one for 13,000 is rented, and the one for 18,000 is rented. And they've only got one left, and that's 6,500 a month. It's a one-bedroomed, but I think you can do better for 6,500 a month. Basically, she has that one for the staff who work at the Marriott Hotel or the hotels nearby, and it's sort of a Thai standard thing. So it's not as good a quality as the other two houses, one for 13 and one for 18. But there is another one. It's just getting built, and she said it should be ready by about December, January time. I think that's the two-bedroom one as well. Again, stunningly beautiful gardens in a nice location, semi-rural, because I live in the countryside. So you need transport. But again, same thing with Rayong. There are plenty of areas where you can go and live, and anywhere from 6,000 up to 30,000. My friend's got a 3-bedroom detached one. That's the only one that I know at the minute that's left. 3-bedroom detached house with his own swimming pool, and that's 22,000 baht a month. Plus electric and internet. It's just getting dark now, so I've just put my light on. So that'll attract all the mosquitoes and the mozzies. So yeah, living in Rayong. I mean, this house, when we rented before we bought it, we were only paying 12,000 baht a month to live here, fully furnished. So that for that price, for the 13 and the 18, that's for a fully furnished house as well, which is incredibly good value. There is another YouTuber who lives in Rayong. He did some adverts for houses for the 15,000 baht mark, and you needed to fully furnish it yourself and do some renovations in it. So I couldn't see the sense. And if you're going to rent a house, you need to do some work in the house or the gardens to make it fully livable before you moved in. So you're going to pay the landlord some money to do his house up so you can live in it and give him the rent and buy all the furniture as well. And for me, it just didn't represent good value for money at all. But the houses that I do are all fully furnished, and you can move in it tomorrow without having to do any repairs. So, but he lives in Merung Pung Beach, and I live at Chak Pong Beach. So we are a fair distance away, and there's more nightlife and there's more things going on where he is as opposed to where I am. But we're still only 35 minutes away by bike to wherever he lives. And what we do, because I don't drink and drive, if we ever went to an event or a party down there, we would stay in a resort hotel, which is only 500 to 700 baht a night anyway, which is cheaper than getting a taxi home. So, like, again, you cut your cloth to suit and you go live where you want to live. Can 6.5 house be rented 1 month at a time or 3 months at a time? Yeah, it's you. The one for 6.5, it's a minimum of 3 months. But again, I'm a little bit hesitant to look at it because it's not to the same standards as your other houses. And so I think personally she'll struggle to get 6,500. The other houses, wow. I mean, the second people that look into it on both houses, well, in fact, the first person said, yes, he's going to have it. And then he backed out of it the day after. But thankfully, I had somebody else looking at it the following day, and they booked it straight away. And there was one guy, he's not coming back until April, and he's paid 6 months advance rent, even though he's not going to live in it because it's that good of a deal. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of difference in the houses that are the standard of houses and what people are asking for money. And you've got to shop around. You know, it's in your court at the end of the day. And I think you can get some really, really good value houses, fully furnished, for, you know, between 12 and 20,000 baht. But it's up to you to look around the area that you want. But certainly all the houses that our landlady's got 10 houses in this area, and they're all rented, every single one of them, apart from the 1-bedroom place for 6,500. She has another 1-bedroom place, which is very, very nice, but that's rented up until next March, as from next month, from December up until March. So that's not available until after March next year. Okay, around about cancer hospitals and things like that. So here we are now at 5:49. So somebody was saying, you know, what time does it get dark? It's like 10 to 6, and it's getting a little bit dark now. So that's why I put the light on. My glasses are my glasses are not too bad. Thought they might be reflecting into the screen. So exciting times living here in Thailand. There's loads of things that I'm still doing to the house, like the solar. I'm going to do another video on the solar. The mistake that I made, my mistake, but I didn't know I made, because I'm still learning on solar as well. Although I'm an electrician and solar. Okay, the electrics is slightly different, but there's other things like when you buy 2 450-watt solar panels, you think, oh, they're both the same. I bought them both from the same company, both 450 watt, but one was a different voltage and different amperage to the other one. And when I put them all together, it didn't work. And I couldn't understand why it didn't work. So I did my YouTube, looked on my YouTube videos and found out the reasons why it wasn't working. And I did my tests and I thought, oh, that's it. I found it. One's 64 volts and the other one's 41 volts. So I thought the other panel was faulty because it's only 41 volts. Sent an email to the shop, and he explained to me this panel and that panel, although the 450 watts are totally different with voltages and amps. So you get 2 volts and amps different panels, it's always going to go with a weaker one. So long story short, I bought another panel that was exactly the same as the other panel. So I've got a 450 watt solar panel now that I'm going to use somewhere else. And I can, but am I happy with the solar at the minute? Yes, I am. Because, I mean, our electricity bill is only about 800 baht a month, so it's cheap anyway. But I think we'll get our electricity bill down to about 400 or 500 baht a month, which isn't a lot. And we didn't put solar in just to save the money. We did it because I like things like, I like gadgets. I like playing around with electrics and playing around with solar. So it was a hobby of mine, but it is a hobby that actually gives back. It's still going to take 5 or 6 years for it to pay for itself. That's if it lasts that long, because it's a Chinese inverter. Hopefully it will. It's got a 2-year guarantee with it, and the inverter is a 4.5 kilowatt inverter with 2-year warranty. So fingers crossed. Hi Les, love your live vlogs. I'm landing in Bangkok on December the 2nd. Would it be cheaper to buy some card at the airport or in the city will be here for 6 weeks. Would it be cheaper to buy some card? What do you mean? Internet service? Yeah, a friend of mine who's just come. He paid 1,000 baht for unlimited calls, unlimited texts, unlimited internet for about 1,000 baht, which is about 25 quid for 4 weeks. So yeah, you can do it that way. But it is cheaper to go and buy a card in the city. The airport, like every airport around the world, they're there to fleece you. They're there to take the money off you, as are the taxis and everybody else. So yeah, if you don't want to wait, get it from the airport and just pay the price. 1,025 quid for a month's worth of internet and free phone calls, and it's more expensive in other places, I'm sure. I think I paid about 15 quid for a worse service than that from EE when I landed at Heathrow. So yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't get any money from the airport though. Go to the get some money before you land. Get about £100 worth of Thai currency. Don't get any money changed at the airport. Wait until you get to wherever you need to get to and go to the exchange booths or even the banks, and you'll get a better rate than you would do at the airport. Getting married in Thailand, village marriage. What do I need to do about registering it? Okay. So that'll be just the ceremony. What you'd have to do to register it, there's a lot of paperwork involved in actually getting married. You need an affidavit to say that you are free to marry. You would need, if you've been married before in the UK or America or wherever, you need confirmation by the courts to say that you are free to marry. Then you've got to go and get that translated into Thai. Then you've got to go and get it stamped by the embassy of your country to say this is a true version or true copy of whatever it was. Then you and your partner would have to go to the Ampere and get a ceremony within the Ampere, and you need 2 witnesses. Now, that can be a little bit more complicated as well, because that's what happened to me and my wife. We didn't have any ceremony. We just went to the Ampere and got married, but we got turned down by 3 Ampers that wouldn't marry us. The first one says, I'm not going to marry you because we didn't have Ploy's mum and dad there. The second Ampere said they won't marry us because we wanted Ploy's mum and dad there or family members there and a translator, so I knew what I was going to get into. We went to the third Ampere up in Ploy's village, who told her, yeah, come to this Ampere. It's like the public office, what the Ampere is, and we'll marry her on Friday. So we went there. We had Ploy's mum and dad, the head of the village, family and friends, and it was her last day. So she wasn't going to do any wedding marriages on her last day before she went down to Bangkok. So then that's the only time we've had an agent to do that. And we found the agent in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because we had to get everything registered and ratified, that all of these things have been signed and sealed and validated by the embassies and things like that. And this agent gave my wife this card and said, if you've got any problems, give me a call. So we were in Karachi. We called the lady in Bangkok and she said, yeah, 5,000 baht, come down to the office like in 2 days' time. And we went to her office at 9 o'clock, and by 9:30 we were married. We went into the Ampere. She filled all the paperwork in. A guy turned up on a motorbike, took his helmet off, signed the form, and that was it. 30 minutes we were married, and that was using an agent. But if we use an agent for everything from start to finish, that was going to cost us 30,000 baht. But there is a lot of running around and a lot of paperwork. So the civil part of the wedding is sort of, it's not worth the paper it's wrote on because it means nothing. You have to go to an Ampere to get all of the paperwork before it is registered. And if you get married in a registry office here, it is legal and binding and is lawful, and it will be looked upon as a legal wedding in your home country. Unlike the civil wedding that you're going to have, it's worth nothing. It's just a family, well, it's just a gathering and you paid for everything, but legally wise, it means nothing. Good afternoon from Bangkok, Adrian. Good afternoon. Bangkok, I said we just come back from Bangkok. We were in Bangkok for 2 days and loved it. Bangkok is always vibrant. I'm still waiting from DJI 13 to tell me how much it's going to cost to get my drone fixed. That was that was complicated. That where we stayed near the Bayok Hotel, and on the Google Maps there was a DJI service center 12 minutes walk from where we were. So me and the wife went and found the building. The building was closed. Even though the website said it was open, the building was closed, so it wasn't there. We tried the phone, no answer to the phone. So then my wife went shopping. I went to the shopping mall, Central World, seen the DJI store there, and they said, no, I've got to go to Rama 9, which was an hour's walk or 15 minutes by taxi. So I went to waited for my wife to finish shopping, because I wasn't going to go there and try to find it because I can't speak Thai at all. And so my wife rang, no answer from them. Whereas DJI 13 store, which was 30 minutes taxi drive or 30 minutes for me to drive. And I said to Ply, we'll go there in the morning on the way home back to Rayong. So it took us 45 minutes driving through Bangkok. Rush hour at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning was horrendous. So we've got DJI 13. They said, yeah, they'll have to send it away before they can give us a price. So if it's 2,000 or 3,000 bahts worth of damage, then I'll get it fixed. Because it cost me 19,000 baht. Boy, was it disappointed when I crashed it. If I was in, because I watched the videos, it crashed into electricity cables. If I was an inch higher, I would have missed it. If I was an inch low, I would have missed it. But I went right on the cable, because there was a lorry coming. I was on a busy main road, and there was a car coming the other way, and I still had my finger on the button going forward as I was looking at the traffic. Stupid, silly, schoolboy error, but it's going to cost me 2,000 or 3,000 baht to get it fixed. But I'll never do that again, that's for sure. How do cultural norms and values in Thailand influence perception and practice of traditional massage, particularly regarding women's roles in the profession? No idea. Above my pay grade, that. I just get on with everybody and let everybody do whatever they want to do. I looked at your Bangkok video. I'm happy you enjoyed this wonderful city. I've lived here for 2 years, no regrets. There's another video to come as well of the nighttime market. Again, that was just brilliant. You know, the wife was over the moon. But I went shopping for her, and I'm a big guy. That there's nothing for me. There is nothing for me at all, because they're all skinny ties, and you know, so even Play struggled to get what she wanted to do. But she'd been there all day and all night, and so she came away with a few things anyway. But it was still fun to see, fun to watch. If Rayong either expanded their airport or Jomchim built one, people will be flying here to stay in Pattaya. Or that'll live in Jomchim. Yeah, well, there is an airport near us. It's Udapau. Udapau is about an hour away from where we live. So Udapau Airport serves Pattaya. Again, it's only half an hour or so away from Pattaya. So there is an airport at Udapau, and you can get to Koh Samui, Phuket. It does it goes up to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and things like that. So yeah, Udapau Airport. Have a look at that if you want to fly various places. So you don't have to always fly from Bangkok Airport. In what ways do karaoke culture influence the social lives and identity form of Thai teenagers and the native? No idea. Absolutely no idea. Karaoke is a bit of fun. The Thais do what they want to do. Who am I to tell them not to do it or what they should do? This is Thailand. It's their country. They do whatever they want to do. I paid 1,500 baht for 3-month SIM card at the airport. Oh, that's not too. 1,000, 3 months. There you go. That's 3 months, 500 baht a month. Can't go wrong with that. That's cheap as chips. Well done. How does Dave from the Big Picture Albert use that Thai food in his YouTube content to influence his audience perception of the cuisine? Again, Thai food is very, it can be hot and spicy. Some people I know people who never eat Thai food, even though they've lived here for many years. They just eat Western food. Now, I love Thai food. I really do like Thai food. But I only have maybe 7 or 8 dishes that I eat all the time. Isan food is a peculiar taste, not to my palate. So everybody's palate's different. My wife doesn't like Western food. She doesn't like Indian food. So we all have our differences, what we want to eat. If you like it, eat it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. There's always something different. Did I have a motorbike license in the UK? No, I didn't. I got my motorbike license when I was over in Thailand. It's not difficult to do. The motorbike test itself, actual driving test, is 2 minutes. So it doesn't take long. And there is an exam that you've got to do for road signs and stuff like that. There's a 3-hour video you've got to watch. So basically, to get a Thai driver's license here, it can take most of the day. I didn't have a motorbike license in the UK, so I had to do it all from scratch. There are companies now over here, I think it's charged 4,500-5,000 baht, and they will get you a motorbike or a car license, or even both. If you go there at 8 o'clock, you'll walk out of the office at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock with your Thai driver's licenses, and that's in Pattaya. People want to know the address, just send me an email. Leslie Pearson, 58 at yahoo.com. If you want to know how you get your driver's license, there's a couple of agents that I send people to. Again, I get no kickback or no commission off this, so I'll just give the information. So it's about 4,500-5,000 baht, and you'll get your license, no problems whatsoever. And that's for anybody. But I would say, if you're in Pattaya and you've never driven a motorbike or a scooter before, it's the wrong place to learn, because you've got to have eyes at the back of your head while driving a scooter or a car in Thailand, because they aren't the best drivers, and there's so many accidents happen. Even if it's not your fault, it will be your fault, because the Thais have an attitude, or they have a saying that, and actually when you think of it, there is some credence for this. The fact that if you weren't in Thailand at the time of the accident would never have happened. So therefore, it must be your fault. So majority of Thai, there's a lot of Thai people don't have insurance, and of course, majority of the time, foreigners have insurance, so foreigners pay. So even if it's not your fault, you can still be expected to pay for the accident. That wasn't even your fault. But be very, very, very careful on motorbikes and cars. Thailand has got one of the worst death rates in the whole of Asia for motorbike accidents. But that's a lot to do with Thais drinking and driving and no helmets and things like that. A lot of Thais don't have a license because it takes so long. It can take 1 or 2 days to get a license, even for Thai people. So that's 1 or 2 days without work to just get a motorbike license. What safety precautions should you take during a long motorbike tour in Thailand, usually regarding the planning of lunch, breaks, and the rest stops? When your bum gets sore, you stop. If you see a nice restaurant, you stop. If you see something beautiful, you stop. If you don't see anything beautiful and your bum doesn't hurt, you just keep on going until your bum hurts or you see something beautiful. I don't sort of plan anything. We just go with the flow, and we see what we see, and that's the way we go. Good night, Bill. Thanks very much for joining me. Much appreciated. Always a pleasure. Thanks very much. You join us. I think you've joined me on almost every single one of them, so thanks very much. We're going up to Ban Rak Thai for Christmas, or just before Christmas, and it's a 16-17 hour drive. So all we do, we'll set off at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll drive until 5, wherever that gets us, and then we'll stop. We'll look for a hotel in that location. And then in the morning, we'll get up, we'll have breakfast, and we'll set off again 8 or 9 o'clock, and we'll drive for another 7 hours. So we're stopping, I don't know whereabouts we stop, but 6, 7, 8 hours but I never ever drive in the dark when we're going somewhere, because I don't particularly like driving in the dark anyway, and I don't know where I am. So we will always stop at 5 o'clock. So we've got at least half an hour. I've got something bleeping in the background. So yeah, we will stop, and that's what we'll do. And that's what we always do, is that we travel 5 o'clock and we stop when it's light. What challenge do foreigners in Thailand face when navigating motorbike accidents, particularly in relation to insurance cover? Again, insurance, certainly if you've got medical travel insurance and things like that, and you don't have a proper license and you don't have a helmet, some of the travel companies will refuse to pay because you haven't got the appropriate documents. So as cheap as it is to hire a motorbike, there could be consequences or bills to pay. Hope you are well. I'm in the caravan and camping for a week. Good. Oh, Dave. Oh, that's you, Dave. Hope you're well. I'm in the caravan camping. Oh, okay. I've read it now properly. Best wishes. I hope everything works okay, Dave, in your van, in your caravan. Have a look at, I've just done a video on motorhomes, camper van conversions, and my friend, he had a tent that fitted on the back of his truck, but what he's done now is he's looking at motorhomes or camper conversions. So that's the way he's going to go. But I think he got a shock with how much it's going to cost him. Now, Dave's done many things with regard to his caravan. He's put all sorts of bits and pieces onto it. And I hope you're going to make a couple of videos, Dave. I'll be interested in watching them, mate. And I did chat to you the other day, and I did send you messages saying I'm still here. But by the time you got the messages, Dave, and you answered me, it'd gone about 10 or 15 minutes had gone by. So there was a bit of a lag or something. So I will get around to talking to you one day, because you know, I hope you get your trailer sorted out with your pop-up tent and things like that on the back of a Forza. Now that should be an interesting video. I hope it works. I hope you get it. I hope it works okay. That's saying the foreigners being in an accident is totally illogical. But this is, yeah, I've seen many foreigners. In fact, the last guy I know, American guy, got 2 toes amputated because he was drinking and driving, and he was stupid. And I told him he was stupid. You shouldn't drink and drive in this country, and especially if you're not used to driving on this side of the road as well. Personal accident insurance is cheap. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, cool. I will check it out. Thanks, Dave. It's a good idea to get a dash cam and drive regularly there. Get the evidence on camera. Yeah, again, dash cameras are so cheap. What do you think of Dave from the big picture, El Panorama, and his rule? I don't know. I've not seen that one. Les, have you ever considered dash cam? I have. I've considered it, yeah, but I've never had one. To be fair, I've never had one. But then again, I've never had an accident in the 12 years that I've been here. Now that's tempting fate, isn't it? I think I'm quite a safe driver. I'm not a fast driver. I'm a plodder, like driving Miss Daisy. But yeah, I should. Again, I think I might do that Christmas time. Get myself a dash cam. In fact, I will do that. I'll do a video on it, me dash cam installation and costs and things like that. And apparently, with my insurance, if I get a dash cam, I get 10% off. So 6,000, 10% is 600 baht. So that'll almost pay for the dash cam. I think they're about 1,000 baht for a nice one. So if I get a dash cam, and my insurance is due shortly, so I might just do that to get me 10% off, and that'll pay for the dash cam, won't it? So thanks for that suggestion. I'll give that a go. What's one hidden gem in Thailand that you think every traveller should know about, and why do you believe it stands out compared to the more popular tourist? Pie. location-wise, near Chiang Mai, 2.5 hours away from Chiang Mai, one of the most stunningly beautiful places in Thailand. And we went there for 3 years in a row, and it never, ever disappoints. It's a beautiful place. Chilled out as well. It's like sort of hippie-ish, but it's very, very nice. So, Pai. How old were you when you retired to Thailand? I was 50 when I retired, and I was 52 when I came to Thailand. So I've been to Thailand now for 12 years. What time are we at now? 6:13. Les was 14. Baron Lolly is a great guy. Okay, thanks for that, Dave. 14, haha. That's it. That's all my water gone, and all my juice is gone. So I've got a big 185 watt light bulb here, and the amount of little beasties are flying around it. So here we are now. It's pitch black outside. You must be able to see our house from the space station because of the lighting situation. All the other houses here just got minimum lighting. Where here now we've got lighting all around the house because my wife doesn't like it dark, so we have the solar lights all the way around the house, and they're on all night, which is good. What do you think the cost of a swimming pool would be in Thailand? I have no idea. I just think swimming pools are expensive things to maintain and look after. I've never met one person yet who's got a swimming pool who's never complained about the cost of it, the upkeep of it, stopping the algae coming on, the pumps, the filters, the pH. There's a lot of work in looking after a pool. And if I want to go swimming, I can go in the big sea, and Big G takes care of the sea, of its everything. And the sea is just like jumping into warm bath water anyway. Or you can pay to go to a public pool, and it's only like 100 baht, 150 baht to go into a public pool. But again, I'm a good swimmer and I like swimming, but I wouldn't have a swimming pool if somebody give me one. I wouldn't have a swimming pool. I'm working towards securing my pension, then I will pull the plug in the UK and move across. Well, okay, best wishes with that. As I say, make the plans, because certainly for the next 5 years, there's austerity in England. You're going to be taxed to high heaven, and there's nothing going to be good happening in the next 5 years because the government's told us everything's bad. There's nothing good. So crazy. And all I can do is see things getting worse in the UK. It's the Farang's fault in a car accident, even if the local had a license, tax, MOT, helmet, and was driving out. Yeah, again, because of what I said, if you weren't here, the accident would never have happened. And there's some logic in that thinking as well. But also, it's probably the easiest, because if they blame the foreigner for having the accident, the insurance is going to pay out anyway. But, it's it is what it is. TIT, this is Thailand. We moved between Koh Phangan and Chiang Rai. We much prefer Chiang Rai. It's rural and the real Thailand. Yeah, it's lovely. It's beautiful up in there until the burning season. Everybody complains about the burning season in Thailand and how bad it is over that 3-month period. And the pollution, the air pollution, there's many people with chest infections and chesty illnesses and things like that because of the burning season, the pollution. And I felt a little bit like that when I walked around Bangkok the other day. It doesn't normally affect me, but I maybe had a bit of a chest infection anyway. But the pollution, the smell around everywhere, it just gets in the back of your throat. And even walking around the nighttime market, there was lots and lots of pollution. I've got some buggies crawling all over my hair. So yeah, again, it makes me laugh when Sadiq Khan with the ULEZ pollution tax in London. Can you imagine that happening here in Bangkok? Absolutely no way. There'd be no vehicles on the road if they introduced ULEZ into Bangkok. But it is what it is. You know, the taxpayers of the United Kingdom with the car taxes and ULEZ taxes and, you know, congestion taxes. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The motorist in the UK is the cash cow. And if Thailand ever catches on to the cash cow and the motorist, boy, will the motorist get hammered over here. We have a pool in Chiang Rai, and I concur it's costly to run, but would never have the aspire to have one at home. So yes, I love my pool. Yeah, good. Again, there's a guy that I used to stay at in France. He paid a lot of money to get a swimming pool put in France to attract, because he had a bed and breakfast business. And he said, in reality, it cost him £10 sort of for every time he wants to have a swim. By the time he puts the chlorination in and the tablets and the upkeep and the filters. And he said, he would have been better off getting 2 or 3 jacuzzis that people could just sit in the jacuzzi with a bottle of wine and watch the stars. Sadly, his time has come and he's passed away now. So is his wife. But they were a fantastic couple that I knew for a lot of years in France. We had many a happy night with bottles of wine in France. What impact do you think implementation of pollution tax in Bangkok would have on foreign visitors? No idea. I don't know. Beyond my pay grade. So Thailand will do whatever they want to do. If they want to tax it, they'll tax it, but there'll be a big uprising by the people. That's my thoughts of it. I don't think it'll ever happen. Yeah, that's why we moved between the two places. When the smoky season, we head for the islands. Yeah, good. Let's wear a mask in Bangkok if the air is bad. Yeah. I mean, that's good also. I probably should have wore a mask when I was walking about, but I didn't think. The tax in the UK is insane. What's the point of working harder if 40% goes to the taxman? Well, it's not so much. I don't mind it going to the taxman if they spend it wisely, but there's a lot of stupid things going on at the minute. And I say there's lots of them boatfuls of people who've never contributed in the system and never ever will, who are taking the lion's share out of it. You know, there's so many people cheesed off with that, but the government do nothing about it. We'll attack the gangs, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do the other. Oh, absolutely. No way. No way, Jose. Need to work out if I want to pay UK still when I move in town. Yeah, well, I still pay taxes on my pension in the UK, but it is what it is, you know. It's easier to pay the tax. So I get my little, though it does some of the trolls that are there, you know, if I went back to England, I had my eyes examined, I went to see a doctor, they say even though I don't live in the UK, I'm using the health service, but I'm still paying my tax. So I think I should. Got millions of little flies all over the place now. I think if I still pay tax, I should be entitled to something because I don't claim anything from not living in the UK. So I think I'm entitled to a little bit of like a doctor's visit and a NHS prescription, which probably cost the taxpayer £100. But I've already paid me £125 a month for the last 15 years and I haven't even lived in the UK. Anyway, taxes up 40 billion in the UK, biggest ever rise, despise the promise they didn't need to go up. Yeah. They lied, and better lied. Okay. Right, I'm going to go. I'm getting attacked by, there must be a million little bugs and flying all over the place. And so I'm going to go because it's dark now. So thank you very much for all those people who joined the conversations and much appreciated. Again, I'll do it in a couple of weeks' time or something like that. It's always a pleasure. It's always a privilege. And those people who want to have any information off me, I do the telephone call, the WhatsApp, face-to-face. Again, have a look at my shop. Help support the channel by buying the keto books if you're a little bit overweight. That'll help you for the price of a cup of coffee. So thanks very much for joining, everybody. Take care. Have a great night and catch you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye for now.